Firstly, I'd just like to thank the City of Sydney for having us this evening and giving myself and Patrick from the Social Mosaic an opportunity to present to you what we feel is the future of urban planning and get some community feedback. Up on the panel tonight, you have the key stakeholders in any sort of urban planning discussion. We have Biljana, representing the residents of the City of Sydney, Michelle, a small business owner, Ardit from a large development company, and Sub, who's representing the different levels of government who would be involved in a project like this. Now, almost since the first cars hit the road, congestion has been a problem. Now, transportation technology has improved a lot since then, but congestion hasn't, and really has only gotten worse, and communities more and more disconnected. New disruptive technology is often thought of as the solution to these problems, but how can you plan a city based around disruptive technology when you don't know what it is yet? We need to stop thinking of technology as a solution to these problems and start focusing on people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people who are faced with a daily commute of over an hour are 33% more likely to suffer from depression as a result. 33% more likely. Now, if everyone just thinks for a moment about the mental toll that this would take, not only on those commuters, but their families, their friends, and the wider community, the scale of the problem which we needed to address quickly becomes apparent.
Our solution to these problems is the cities of tomorrow, a modular framework designed to deal with the problems of congestion and urban sprawl by focusing development inwards rather than outwards into the outskirts of our cities. This framework is designed to be flexible and scalable to any existing urban district, designed to incorporate with the greater urban landscape as well. Now, there's a range of core services that by design cannot be easily decentralised. We're talking heavy industry, airports, universities. What our focus is on these precinct design is to focus on the aspects of everyday life that can be decentralised. So our intent is to take a portion of each and bring it all together. Work should be a walkable distance from home. We should have easy access to healthcare, to green spaces, to education, and the sense of community that comes from the proximity of all these aspects of our everyday lives. We shouldn't have to spend our hours in this daily commute, but instead actually living in our lives. Now, the important thing to stress about our plan is that it's not just about redeveloping in infills. It's about reimagining how to do so. We understand that there's affordability and practical concerns when it comes to developing in existing spaces. Our intent is to embrace the existing infrastructure and population when at all possible, to ensure that these communities have mixed demographics and mixed densities. By ensuring that we maintain these aspects, and while encouraging new development, we ensure that the best possible community is developed, capable of expanding when the need and population rises. Now I'm going to pass it on to our panel for their thoughts on the matter.
As a local resident, I like your idea of addressing congestion and that wellbeing is at the core of your solution. However, you have used a lot of buzzwords such as reimagine and flexible. How do you actually propose on making your precinct different to the existing master plan precincts we see across Sydney?
Well, the major difference between our precinct and those master plan precincts which already are around Sydney is that our precinct is designed to be applied in an infill context, not on the outskirts of the city in a greenfield area. Those communities don't actually address congestion at all, because every day the residents of those precincts have to go out into the city, travel around, just to access their essential services they need in their daily lives. By trying to address congestion and moving away from the city, those precincts have actually made it worse. Our solution is designed to optimise the movement of people around the city while still focusing in and preserving the local character and culture of whatever precinct and area we're applying it to.
I see a lot of green space in your precinct plan and not a lot of roads. As a small business owner, how am I going to get my freight to my back door?
Well, this is a good opportunity to go to our cross-section. But we acknowledge that there's always going to be a need for freight and commuter transportation. We have taken the core industries infrastructure that's involved in that, parking, roads, distribution centres, and push them underground. This avails us to take advantage of the formerly congested roads and start to transform them into green spaces to encourage active transport options such as walking and cycling. Furthermore, we strongly encourage the use of public transport for intra-district transportation options, especially to access those core services that are not available in such specialised districts.
Housing affordability is an issue in most cities around the world. How do you propose on addressing this in your plan?
And I'll need some guidance on how much affordable housing the community needs to balance that with the need for an economically sustainable development.
Yeah, what happens when I retire? How's this model still going to work for me?
I want to make some observations on that. In government, we recognise the pressure that population growth is putting on our communities, and we're focused on housing affordability and a fair go for all. So affordable housing, from our perspective, needs to be part of your precinct plan from day one. On the infill redevelopment idea, we like it, but in order to receive our full support, we want to see housing diversity incorporated into your idea. So we want to see a range of housing choices available to cater for different life stages and key workers, thereby creating a mixed demographic community. As to your point, Ardette, we will work with the community and you, the developer, to set the planning rules accordingly so that we're generating spaces that the community actually want.
One more thing. How would this precinct be developed to support my business and other businesses already existing in the area? If we see redevelopment every 5 years, how is my business sustainable? How is this future-proof?
I can answer that. Michelle, so we can roll these precincts out gradually as they're modular and customizable for each geographical location. This means that the precincts are sustainable in the long term. To be able to roll these precincts out, however, we will ensure that the existing infrastructure such as transport is developed in the area before and during the larger development that will occur. We eventually envisage a city comprised of these infill developments gradually becoming interconnected into a city of tomorrow.
Look, guys, those are all great points, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. Look, ladies and gentlemen, people are always going to be wanting to live in cities. That's never going to change. But simply continuing to expand the urban sprawl, which we all currently find ourselves a part of, is no solution. The Social Mosaic's City of Tomorrow decentralises services, addresses congestion, and is modular and scalable based on the needs of the community in question. The social and health benefits, which we envisage coming about as a result of these precincts, will mean people actually want to live there, rather than just simply having to live there. Most importantly though, this is a repeatable solution. This can be applied and scaled on a needs basis anywhere in the city. It interconnects with the existing parts of the city, growing and complementing the social mosaic. Thank you for your time.
It's a great concept and definitely something that we very much need in cities like Sydney that are growing out of control in all dimensions. So again, I love the concept and the energy you have put into thinking about it. I like the decentralized view of how you want to bring different capabilities together and build the future city. So I like your ideas. Thank you.
Look, I thought that was a fantastic presentation. I really liked that you had a people-first approach to placemaking, and I like the undergrounding of services, but that does actually create some challenges in terms of making things, in terms of looking at housing affordability. So that's something to think through. But I think it is very important, and it was interesting the way your presentation evolved, that you had thought through the importance of adaptability and being able to live in place, and the importance of diversity of housing stock, also the importance of mixed use as a way of activating the precinct. So really well considered, and congratulations.